Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Um, I wanted to do a video on gun violence. Just recently, I know everyone heard on the news, but if you haven't heard yet, just recently, there was a mass shooting in Sacramento, California, and 6 people were killed and 12 were injured. Um, and this is not the first mass shooting and most likely won't be the last. I know in the past we heard about the Columbine shooting, the Virginia Tech shooting, the the Sandy Hook shooting, um the Charleston church shooting, and the Post nightclub shooting. And this is an event that not only affect those that are who are targeted or who are in the environment whenever it happens. And this is not only something that affects the family members and friends of the victims, but this is something that affects everyone, even, viewers who are watching the news. It affects us. And it's gotten to the point where some people, they're afraid to go out at night. They're afraid to go out at night because of all of the shootings that they hear about on the news. Just like with 9/11. When 9/11 happened, it caused a lot of people to be afraid of planes and afraid of heights. I know it did that for me. I was 10 years old when 9/11 happened. And till this day, I'm afraid of heights and I'm afraid of planes because of it. These terrorist attacks, these mass shootings, it affects all of us. And it can cause people to have phobias. It can also cause people to have a negative aspect on the world because they just don't feel safe because of what they hear and see in the news. And a lot of people, this is a trigger for them because they live in environments that are not so safe, where there's a lot of gang activity. And hearing things like this on the news is a trigger for a lot of people. Gun violence has a lot of effect. There's a lot of effects that gun violence causes. And it's very detrimental to our society. And we need to act on this. We need to take a stand against gun violence. A lot of people are against gun control, but gun control is very needed in this country. It's very much needed. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and share a video of the news outlets reporting what happened in Sacramento. Mm, all right, here's the video right here. Okay, let me rewind this.
To a tragic scene in California, a mass shooting in downtown Sacramento early Sunday morning, leaving at least 6 people killed and others hurt. An investigation now underway. NBC's Guad Venegas is at the scene for us. Hey, Guad, good morning.
Good morning, Hoda. That shooting happening just behind me. This is an area in downtown Sacramento with bars and restaurants. There's an arena right over there, the California State Capitol building on this side. Now police are asking for the public's help. They need clues that can help them identify any of the suspects, and a warning, some of the images you're about to see are disturbing.
An urgent manhunt is underway this morning after a deadly mass shooting in Sacramento.
We got another one here, another gunshot.
This video from social media appears to show bystanders racing away as chaos erupted in the streets. Authorities say officers heard gunshots ringing around 2 a.m. early Sunday morning. Police in the area hearing the gunshots and quickly arriving to a horrific scene.
There they encountered a large crowd and multiple gunshot victims. Officers began to give medical aid, including CPR, to the victims that they found.
18 people struck by gunfire, at least 6 of them now dead from the injuries.
All we heard was just gunshots.
Sacramento police have recovered hundreds of pieces of evidence, including the stolen handgun from the scene. Authorities also say they are investigating social media videos that appear to show a fight break out before the gunfire, yet it's unclear if the fight is related to the shooting.
We know that a large fight took place just prior to the shootings, and we have confirmed that there are multiple shooters.
Near the site of the shooting, friends and family members waiting for hours to get information. Pamela Harris says her son Sergio is one of the 6 killed, and today she wants answers.
This wasn't no one shot. I mean, that was a massacre.
What do you know about what happened to him?
All I know is my son's dead. He has 2 young daughters that love him dearly, and he loved them. They're not going to see their father anymore.
Sunday's tragedy stunning the Sacramento community.
I'm devastated for the victims, for those still fighting for their lives, for their families, and for my city.
Now, investigators have not issued any information on possible motives or the suspects. President Biden also issued a statement warning the families and asking Congress to take action with more gun laws at a federal level. Hoda?
All right, Guad Venegas for us there. Guad, thank you.
This conflict is claiming a horrific.
All right, you just saw that. You just saw that video. A mother lost her child. I probably shouldn't have exited out of it because I did want to name out the victims. I wanted to name out the victims. Okay, wait. Let me go back. Let me go back right quick to it. This isn't the article. Let me get back to the article that I had. Is this the one? I want to name out the names of the victims. Okay. Here are the names. I'm going to go share my screen again so that you can take a look at these names. And what I'm also going to do, I want to show the faces of these victims. Okay. I want to show the faces of these victims if I can find a picture of them. If not, I just want their names out there. I want them to be remembered because they mattered. Their lives matter. Now, I apologize if I don't pronounce their name right. I really apologize. I will pronounce it best way I can. Okay. Devasia Turner, 29. I'm gonna look her up. I'm gonna look her up right now. Here they are. There they are. These are the people that have lost their lives. These are the individuals. I wonder, is there a way that I can zoom this picture in? No. Hold on. I know better than that. Okay. Open a new tab. No, didn't do. Google used to have it where you can open it or zoom it. Oh man, a video pops up. Let me go back. Anyway, here's a picture of the victims. We have I named out Devasia Turner, age 29. May you rest in peace, power, and love. And the next name is Joshua Hoy. May you rest in peace, power, and love. Joshua Hoy. 32. He was age 32. Next person, which we did see in the video, Sergio Harris, age 38. May you rest in peace, power, and love. Jontea Alexander, age 21. Right there. May you rest in peace, power, and love. Who's next on the list? Yamil Martinez, age 21. May you rest in peace, power, and love. And last, but certainly not least, Melinda Davis, age 57. May you rest in peace, power, and love. And my heart, prayers, and condolences go to your families and your friends. This is very devastating, very tragic, and it really, really hurts. It really, really hurts to see things like this happen. It really does. But this is the world that we live in, unfortunately. And my heart goes out to their family. There is action that we can take. I did do my research before making this video. I came across this, there are two websites I came across. The AmericanProgress.org. And they have 6 ways to reduce gun violence in America. Their first way to reduce gun violence in America is to make extreme risk protection orders available in every state. Let's click on and see what they mean by that. An extreme risk. I'm gonna share my screen again. I'm gonna do a lot of screen sharing on here. Share screen. I'm gonna show tips again. Share screen. All right. Hoping everything is working well on this video. Okay. Here we are. This is one of the 6 ways to prevent gun violence. And the first way is to make extreme risk protection orders available in every state. I'm one person, I don't like to talk about a problem without providing a solution in the end. So I'm gonna go over these 6 ways. And what an extreme risk protection order is a civil remedy that allows family members or law enforcement to petition a court to temporarily remove firearms from a person who poses an imminent risk of harm to themselves or others. Now, when I read this, the word temporarily remove kind of got to me. I feel like it should be permanently removed. This should be a long-term solution, not a short-term solution. And another thing I thought about was like, because this is the con to this strategy right here. This is the con that I'm going over. Another con would be like, what if they have a family member that has a firearm? What if the person, I mean, I know it says that a remedy that allows family members to petition a court to temporarily remove firearms from a person, but while they're petitioning, I mean, it may be other family members who carry firearms, who have firearms in home, and the person that they're petitioning against to not have access to firearms, if they are aware that a family member has a firearm, they could, break in and get access to the firearm. That's kind of like how the Sandy Hook shooting happened, where the mother, she had a son who I think he was autistic and had antisocial disorder. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I think he had. And he broke into whatever safe she had, whatever safe she had the gun locked up in. He broke into it and he took the gun He shot her and then he went off to the school and shot up 26 people, teachers and children. So that's what I'm concerned about. Like, they have family members who may have access to guns, and just because they're not allowed to have a firearm themselves doesn't mean that they won't find a way to get that firearm. So that's the only thing I'm worried about with that first solution. But anyway, let me go on to the next solution. Let me go on to the next solution. The next solution is to reduce gun violence in America is to disarm all domestic abusers. Guns in the hands of domestic abusers pose an extreme risk to victims of abuse. And I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It would be insane to not agree with that. They said from 2004 to 2015, 6,313 women were murdered by an intimate partner using a gun. The presence of a gun in a household that has experienced domestic violence increases the risk that a woman will be murdered by 500%. Abusers also frequently use guns as tools of intimidation. I see this in the line of work that I work in, where I have clients who experience domestic violence, and they tell me that, their significant other, their abuser, would threaten them and would have a weapon in their hand to intimidate them. And so I definitely feel like when they file that protective order or that restraining order on that abuser, here it is right there. Individual subject to a temporary restraining order. It should be permanent. Nothing should be temporary. It should be permanent. The period immediately following the issuance of a temporary restraining order is often one of the most dangerous times for women in abusive relationships, yes. And during that time, they should not be access to guns. They should not be able to. I even think they should do criminal background checks on people before they allow them to even purchase a gun. The third option, the third way to reduce gun violence is support local violence prevention and intervention programs. That's very important too. You sit up here and you listen to all this gangster rap music, but then you want to cry tattoo tears when there's gun violence going on around you. Instead of listening to gangster rap music, you need to be putting your support into local violence preventions. That's where the support should be going to, not to these gangster rap artists. But that's a whole nother topic. I'm not even going to get on it right now. Okay, let's just focus on this. A comprehensive approach to reducing gun violence must include support for evidence-based violence intervention programs that engage all community stakeholders. It's very, very important. Although mass shootings draw the most attention, these incidents account for only a small fraction of gun violence that occurs each year in United States. Far more common are incidents of interpersonal violence that become fatal due to the easy availability of guns. The burden of this violence often falls disproportionately on urban communities and communities of color. It's really, really sad to hear that, to even read that. But it's the truth. Strengthening the nation's gun laws is only one part of the solution. In order to reduce gun violence, it is also necessary to invest in evidence-based violence reduction. I suggest you all look up your state laws and see if your state support any of these 6 ways to reduce gun violence. And if not, come election day, you make sure you vote for the proper politician that takes gun violence seriously. Or advocate. Don't wait till election day, just advocate for, for more gun control or more ways to reduce gun violence. Okay, our fourth, is this the fourth one? Yeah, this is the fourth one. Require background checks for all gun sales. I agree. That's just what I said earlier. I feel like they need to do background checks on individuals before they sell any gun to them. But the con of this is you'll always find a nutcase that'll go right behind the company's back and sell a gun illegally. Like illegally sell a gun. And what I mean by illegally, like sell the gun to a person without even doing a background check on them. That's the con to this. A glaring gap in the federal laws allow individuals to buy a gun without a background check and with no questions asked. Under federal law, some individuals are prohibited from buying and possessing guns for reasons such as prior felony conviction, history of domestic violence, or involuntary commitment for mental health treatment. Licensed gun dealers are required to conduct a background check for every gun sale in order to ensure that they are not selling guns to prohibited purchasers. We really need to check our state laws and see if they're requiring people to have their criminal back check done before they're allowed to purchase a gun. Because that could be the reason why the state that you live in has high crime rates. Because they're not following any of these 6 ways to reduce gun violence in America. Okay, the 5th way, enable the CDC to research gun violence as a public health issue. Yes, I agree. 2 decades of restrictions on public health research into gun violence has left us willfully ignorant about the full scope of this problem and the most effective interventions to prevent it. Yep. CDC should definitely get involved. I would like to know more info about that. Let's see this video here.
It's time for Congress to authorize and fund gun safety research now. 2 decades ago, the gun lobby pressured Congress to pass the Dickey Amendment, effectively stopping the Center for Disease Control and Prevention from conducting the public health research that we know will save lives. This lack of a public investment in gun safety research has left us woefully ignorant about many aspects of gun violence in the United States and the most effective interventions to reduce gun deaths. Even the original author of this restriction, former Representative Jay Dickey, has publicly changed his mind about the amendment that bears his name and urged Congress to resume public health research on gun violence. More than 100 medical organizations also agree and have called on Congress to remove the Dickey Amendment. The issue of gun violence is complex and deeply rooted in our culture, which is why we must take a public health approach to solving it. To better understand how to make guns safer, make people safer with their guns, and make the environment safer with both people and guns in it. People and guns in it.
Hold on. Let me go back to what he said. It says, to better understand how to make guns safer, how to make people safer with their guns, and how to make the environment safer. Those are the 3 key points to why it's important to make gun violence a public health issue, to have CDC research it as a public health issue, to better understand how to make guns safer, how to make people safer with their guns, and how to make the environment safer. Those are 3 important points right there. Now, I don't understand why Congress would be against that. I really don't. All right, let's go back. Our last way is ban assault weapons and high capacity ammunition magazines. Weapons of war should have no place in our communities. I agree. I agree with that. What is an assault weapon? Assault weapons are generally defined as semi-automatic firearms that are capable of accepting a detachable magazine and have an additional military style feature such as a pistol grip, folding stock, detachable stock, barrel shroud, or threaded barrel. What is a high capacity magazine? It's defined as a ammunition feeding device capable of accepting more than 10 rounds. Ooh, it just hurts reading this. Ugh, just imagining that bullet going through your heart. Ugh. Yeah, we're gonna get more info on this.
We have to force Congress, press Congress to pass an assault weapons ban. In 5 out of the last 6 mass shootings, the weapon that was used was the AR-15. Now, the purpose of a weapon like this is to be able to inflict as many casualties as possible, kill as many people as possible in the shortest period of time. It is a weapon of war, essentially the same weapon that I carried in Afghanistan. You can complicate this all you want. You can decide which term to use, assault weapon, military grade. At the end of the day, these weapons do not belong on the streets in America.
Wow, and the fact that they allow that in their gun shop. Some military weapons. Those are supposed to be for military. They call it military weapons for a reason. Why are they out on the streets? Why? But anyway, these are the 6 ways to reduce gun violence in America. I suggest everyone. I'm gonna even look in my state and see if they follow these 6 ways to reduce gun violence in America. Because I think these ways are they're really good solutions. They really are. Now, some of them do have some cons to them because I feel like, regardless, like for number one, make extreme risk protection orders and requiring background checks. I feel like criminals are gonna get around that. They're gonna find a way to get around, that. Like, even if the family members petition for their family member that they know is detrimental to society, um, even if they petition for them to not have access to weapons, there could be a friend, there could be someone that they know that has a weapon, and they could get that weapon and still find a way, to harm somebody. If they can't get it from the gun shop, they're gonna find a way to get it anyway. That's all I'm saying. And for the other one that I feel like has a con to it is the requiring the background checks for all gun sales. It's a great solution. I support it to the fullest. But I also feel like a criminal is gonna find a way to get the gun regardless. Um, and if you have a gun shop owner that's money hungry, like they have a criminal come up to them and be like, "I'm gonna pay you $50,000. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pay you 100K, $100,000 if you allow me to get this gun. I'll pay you." And you think that gun shop owner is gonna turn that money down? That money hungry gun shop owner is gonna turn that huge lump sum of money down? You're gonna go behind he's gonna go behind people's back and he's gonna sell that gun for that money, for that huge amount of money, to that criminal without doing a background check. It happens. It does. So, but other than that, I think these are really good ways to reduce gun violence in America. I suggest you check out the article as you're going through it. Check and see if your state follows any of these 6 ways to reduce gun violence, because it's very important to know your state, to know what they allow and what they don't allow. I think that's very, very important. But anyway, I'm about to put an end to this video. Hurricane Hennessy, hello. Says everyone needs a strap no matter what. When things hit fan in USA, you're gonna want a strap because criminals don't care nor have remorse. So protect yourself first and be a good person with a gun and protect. Well, I think that goes along with in one of these 6 ways where enable the CDC to research gun violence as a public health issue, because one of their main goals, like the men said, is to make guns safer for everyone. If they can do this, if CDC can step in and do the studies, if they can step in and do the studies, this is what's going to be the result if they're allowed to do the studies. how to make guns safer, how to make people safer with their guns, and how to make the environment safer. I have no problem with using a gun for self-defense. I am in no ways against that. But if Congress don't allow CDC to step in and do the necessary research that's needed, I mean, our country's just gonna be the way it is right now. Because there are people out there who use the weapons. They don't use it to protect themselves. They use it to kill people. And like I said, those ways there are to reduce, they're not to eliminate gun violence. They'll just reduce it. Because criminals, they're gonna find a way to go against the law, regardless. But yeah, my heart and prayers goes out to all the victims of the Sacramento shooting and all the other mass shootings, and even shootings like drive-by shootings. My heart and prayers goes to victims of those type of shootings, just any type of shooting, domestic violence, anything. I mean, it's very devastating. These criminals don't realize that not only are they taking away the life of their victims, but they're putting a lot of hurt and pain on the family of those victims. And this world is just so corrupt, and we really, really need to, thoughts and prayers is great, but it's not enough. We need to put an action to this, and we need to do the best that we can to bring awareness of the atrocities within our country, within our community, and treat people with kindness is a way to reduce gun violence, I would say. Anything as simple as treating people with kindness, you know. Just try to respect one another. Don't get so easily angry. I think another thing is, they need to have anger management in schools, because a lot of these gun violence is due to a person not being able to handle their anger. Whereas if they were taught at a very young age on how to manage it, they wouldn't feel like they have to pull out a gun to prove how angry they are to a person, or act on impulse. People act on impulse a lot of times, and just there just need to be a lot of, I know there's character ed in school, but I wonder, do they have anger management in schools? They need to have that in there. And that'll also reduce domestic violence as well. Mhm. That'll reduce domestic violence as well. But there's a lot of ways that we can reduce gun violence. Yes. Thank you, Hurricane Hennessy. We need to preach kindness to gangs and drill rappers out there. Yes. We need to also support artists who spread positivity in their music. I did mention something about how when we were talking about the 6 ways to reduce gun violence, and one of the ways was to support gun violence prevention programs. And I did mention that instead of supporting these gangster rappers, we need to be supporting these gun violence prevention programs. We need to put all our support into that. We put our support in the wrong things. Like there's just too much negativity in the world, and people, I guess the negativity is entertaining to some people. The drama is entertaining to a lot of people. And there's not a whole lot of media attention on positive things. So we definitely need to put our support into the right people, the people that are about something, the people that are about motivating people and uplifting people. You know, because there's a lot of people with reprobated mindsets. Their mind has already, you know, gone into a demonic mindset. And what we really need to do, we need to cater to those who bring positive energy. There's a lot of artists who are very uplifting, who write uplifting music that encourage you to be a better person, that speaks about kindness in their music. Those artists should be winning Grammys. Those artists should be chopping the charts, topping the charts. I don't know why I say chopping, topping the charts. But yeah, everything that's promoted in the media does have an effect on the minds of our youth. And we need to put our support into where it belongs. I would also like to suggest, and I think I'm gonna do it too. I want to donate to this organization. I did mention Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook has an organization called Sandy Hook Promise. And they're making progress to reduce gun violence, to end gun violence, to stop gun violence. And it would be great if we could donate to them. I will be donating to them. I don't know, you know, they even got volunteer work. And this happened back in 2012. I remember this was in December. And it was December the 14th. I remember the date. And I remember where I was. I was with my mom. I was working on my master's, but we had a Christmas break. And I turned on the news, and you know, all these beautiful children, innocent children losing their lives. Here it is, Sandy Hook Promise is a national nonprofit organization founded and led by several family members whose loved ones were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14, 2012. See, I remember the date. Based in Newtown, Connecticut. Our intent is to honor all victims of gun violence by turning our tragedy into a moment of transformation, by empowering youth to know the signs and uniting all people who value the protection of children. we can take meaningful actions in schools, homes, and communities to prevent gun violence and stop the tragic loss of life. A lot of them children were 6, 7 years old, and even some teachers have lost their lives. And it really broke my heart. I was in tears that day. Man, I'm already getting sad right now just thinking about it. But here is our programs. You can, do your research. It's called sandyhookpromise.org. Look up the programs that they serve, here's the name of the programs. Start with hello, say something. It's program overview. Their advocacy. I will be donating to them today. I'm going to donate to them. You can donate $10, $26, $50. You could even do it just one time. One time is, you don't have to do it monthly. You just do it one time. It's amazing. I'm really glad that they're doing that. I learned to walk with a small group out because people today so far are off in the head, and it's sad. And I tell every musician, listen to NF and come back to me. What does NF stand for? Please let me know. But yeah, I agree. I have less friends too. I don't have that many friends. And I don't know if it's my age or is it because of what I see on the news or whatever. Because I'm 30 years old now. But I just don't like going to places where there's a lot of drinking involved anymore. I even if I was going with a friend, I'd be like, "Can we do something else?" You know? He's a Christian rapper. Okay, I'll definitely check him out. I will definitely check him out. I just don't like being in environments where there's a bunch of people taking on risky behaviors. Because those risky behaviors can affect everybody around them, anyone around them. Sexual assault happen, car accidents happen because someone's driving drunk. Anything can happen when you're around, and just like with the point I made about the anger issue, people get angry easier when they're drunk, and you never know what they got in their pants or what they got in their jacket. They could have a gun or a knife, and they can act on impulse, and it affects everyone around them. My laptop is about to go low, but yes, we definitely need to be careful with the company that we keep around us, because the company that you keep around you can play a huge part. The company that you keep around you can play a huge part in how your night turns out, how your day turns out. It could turn out really, really dangerous if you're hanging around people who take on risky behaviors. Ain't nothing wrong. I mean, everybody has different ways of having fun, but there's certain types of ways of having fun that can really put you in danger. And you just have to be careful and not give in to peer pressure. I'm with you. I'm 22 and I have to get away from crazy people that almost led me to distraction. But I found a better community in the things that makes me happy and keep me elevating. That's great. That's great. Because you know what? When I was your age, I didn't even think like that. I just wanted to have fun. You know, I try to be a friend to everybody, crazy or not. So you're very wise for your age. You are. And sometimes it takes time for people to realize that. And it took time for me to realize that I really needed to have the right people in my corner. Thank you so much for participating, Hurricane Hennessy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm about to end this video. It's done been 56 minutes long. It was a pleasure making this video. I think it's very important to not only talk about the events that go on in this world, but also provide solutions. Let people aware of the solutions out there that are available. And to give people something to think about, to give people something that they can advocate for. Anytime, your channel is awesome. Thank you. I do the best I can. I started this channel when I was 16 years old. I'm a huge music lover. Who isn't? Well, there are some people who don't care for music, but I do. I love old school music, and I've done a lot of lyric videos. There are a lot more lyric videos I wanted to do, but when YouTube decided to get so strict, I stopped doing it. I just don't understand the copyright infringement thing, because like I was telling my friend the other day, it's not like I'm slapping my name on somebody else's song. I could see if I slapped my name on somebody else's song and posted it on YouTube, then yeah, that calls for a copyright strike. But if I'm giving credit where it's due, I shouldn't be hit with a copyright strike. So I'm definitely gonna be doing commentaries from now on. Just to bring awareness to a lot of things that may not be talked about as much in other channels. Okay, I'm an actor, YouTube, and director, and I make helpful videos for YouTube. Oh, awesome. Really awesome. I'm definitely follow you. But yeah, I just want to bring awareness to the gun violence in our country. Because, all the blogs that I follow, they haven't talked about the Sacramento shooting. I mean, they'll talk about Will Smith and Chris Brown. Not Chris Brown, oh gosh, Chris Rock. They'll talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock's situation, but they're not highlighting on the Sacramento shooting. And I guess because it's become the norm now, these mass shootings have happened so often that it's become the norm now. But I think it's very important that we keep addressing it and don't sweep it under the rug. YouTubers on my Storm Dagger Films channel. Okay, I'll definitely check it out. I will definitely check that out, Hurricane Hennessy. Thank you so much for participating and giving your viewpoints. Very appreciated. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It's almost 1 hour in. It's a pleasure. I really this was a sad moment. This is a sad occasion, but I really am grateful to bring awareness to the gun violence in our community. I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna keep talking about other things, and I just hope all of you just stay safe, pray up, um, and just make sure you have the right people at your corner. Make sure you have some self-defense in you. Like you can take self-defense classes, um, carry a pepper spray. Usually women are the ones that carry pepper sprays, but men can carry pepper sprays too. So don't think that because you're a man, you can't have certain items to protect yourself, because these criminals do not discriminate. I know in society women is looked as the more vulnerable ones, but anybody is vulnerable in a criminal's eyes. No matter how big or small you are, if they want to rob you and murder you, they're gonna do it. But just stay protected. Do whatever you can to protect yourself. If you feel like you need to own a firearm, do that. Um, but just make sure that that you know in your heart that you're gonna use it to protect yourself and not purposely harm someone else that's innocent, a person that's innocent. Just make sure that you use that gun in the right way. But that's it for me. Everyone have a blessed night, and peace, power, and love to everyone. Bye.